Hello everyone, you just joined a workshop on AI called Speedrunning World Building from blank page to game setting in minutes. I am Kruk, I am your host today. Little bit about myself, I am art manager at Meta, currently working on Beat Saber game, #1 VR title that the most successful VR title currently on the market. I was born in USSR, grew up in Belarus and currently based in London, UK. So let's start with our workshop, how it's going to be structured. It's going to be structured in 3 simple steps. We will have 3 goals. First goal is to find unique setting for our game. Second step, we will be refining this setting and we'll try to solidify a pitch, something that we can present to publisher to show our game idea and to prove that this idea works. And as addition to this pitch, we're gonna be generating a key art which will show some kind of iconic elements of our game, and that will be helping present our ideas in more visual way, not just words. As for prompting strategy, it will be simple. We will be using Gemini. We're not gonna use some kind of smart preset prompts. We're gonna be working live. We're gonna be kind of regenerating our prompts step by step. So first we're gonna create some kind of drafts for our prompts. Then we're gonna ask Gemini for refining these prompts to making them more efficient, making them a little bit better for our goals that we want to achieve. And after that, we're gonna just copy paste this prompt and we'll use it to generate the result. So let's start with our first prompt. This prompt a little bit pre-made by myself to because we are limited on time. I want to finish in 30 minutes. So I put a little bit effort into this prompt. Here is a prompt for deep research that we're gonna do. So as an example for this session, we're gonna be using a survival game, and we're gonna be trying to find a unique setting for our survival game, something that is not overused on the market, something that will look a little bit different than zombies, overgrown buildings, deserts, and so on. So how I structured this prompt, quite classic structure. We have a role, act as a video game senior creative director specializing in world building. Then we have a task, develop 5 unique settings for our survival game. And we have some constraints, avoid overused ideas, consider different calamity causes. So it's not zombies or nuclear explosion, it's any kind of causes that can be created by natural, social, chemical, physical source, anything like that. Then deep research should look into visual features, should keep the idea grounded, not too abstract, so we can relate to it. It should have a cultural hook. This one is super important. It is basically saying that the idea should be familiar to the general audience, but it should have some kind of twist which makes this familiar idea a little bit different. So then people can relate to this idea, but they see it in kind of new perspective, which makes it interesting. Research beyond games and use simple names, because usually AI tends to go crazy with names. So let's copy this prompt. Let's put it into Gemini. And what we're gonna do with this prompt, we're gonna refine it. So to refine it, we simply add this in the beginning, refine the prompt for a deep research to get better, more creative result. And we're gonna add it to the beginning here. Okay, let's switch to thinking mode just to get a little bit better result. and send it. It should be fast. So here is the refined prompt. In real life, I would review this prompt to see if there's any issues, but because we are limited on time, let's just copy it and open new chat. Turn on deep research and let's paste it here. Let's wait until it comes up with a plan for a deep research. It should take just a couple of seconds. You can see generating a plan. And here is the plan. Again, in real life scenario, I would probably go through this plan to see if it worked correctly. But for now, let's just start research. So the research will take a few minutes. If someone doesn't know what is deep research, basically we are sending the Gemini to the internet. So it's going to go through different websites, through different pages. You see Wikipedia, Reddit, different websites. It's going to read anything useful it finds on this topic, and then it's going to kind of create for us some kind of outcome of the results it found in the internet. It usually produces much more interesting, much more creative results than if we just use a thinking model without a deep research. So depending on time, depending on the model you have for your Gemini, or I don't know, you use ChatGPT or anything, it doesn't matter. Just consider using it and see if it works for your task. For this particular task, I pre-tested it before. It works quite well. So let's just wait until it finds the results for us. In the meantime, let's go through our workshop. I will try to explain how we're gonna work next. So we're gonna work in 3 simple stages. First stage is our research. We are trying to find interesting ideas, something that would be not overused for survival game, as an example, in this workshop. Next, we're gonna look into these ideas. It's gonna be 5 ideas that we requested. We're gonna look into it. We're gonna evaluate it. Basically, we will try to look at these ideas with skeptical eyes, particularly with skeptical eyes of a publisher, and decide which idea we pick, which one works the best, which one we skip. And then with this one idea that we pick, we're gonna try to create some kind of game mechanics for it. Then criticize this game mechanics with an eye of a player, of an experienced player. Then we're gonna think if these critiques that we received from a player make sense, or should we skip some parts of it, because as you all know, not all the feedbacks that you receive from your users is 100% valuable for different reasons. So we're gonna look into that, and at the end we will try, at the end of this section, we will try to create a pitch, something that we can present to our publisher or to our investor, to someone who will give us money basically for this project. And as an addition, as a bonus, we will create a visualization, some kind of poster, some kind of key art that will present this idea in the best way. There are some interesting things that I want to show you about that, how to make your picture a little bit better. Basically we will come to it, and you will see. So let's check how our deep research is going. So it's almost finished. You see that it already kind of look into the results, and now it's just analyzing it. So what we're gonna do with these results, we're not gonna continue in this chat. We're gonna create a new chat, and in this new chat we're gonna just explain Gemini what we have. We have results of deep research from other chat, and we're gonna ask it to summarize it in short and concise way, so we can understand what happened in the deep research without reading this enormous document that it will give us. You see this document, yeah, it's ready. Now here is the result of deep research, but again we're not gonna read it all here because of time. In the real life I would probably go and read it, but let's just copy it all. It is a long document. One second. Yeah, I believe this is the end. We're not gonna copy any sources, we're just gonna copy the text. Let's paste the text. Yeah, and we're asking Gemini to refine it, to make a little executive summary from this research. It shouldn't take long. Okay, here is our summary. We have 5 ideas. First idea, the electric dust, 1900s Paris, ground made of dust. Again, we're not gonna go too deep into it. Second idea, cloud cities. Okay, humans live in floating capsules. Okay, interesting. Deadly vibration. The whole world vibrates at very low frequency that people cannot hear but can feel through their bones. It's an interesting one again. False horizon. You explore a new land where the plants and trees have learned to look like human houses and tools to trick you. Nice. You see, with deep research we can go into like some crazy results. You wouldn't probably get something like this without the deep research, but deep research goes a little bit deeper and provides more advanced results. Okay, now what we're gonna do with it? Instead of evaluating it all by ourselves, we're gonna ask publisher, our fake publisher, to evaluate it. I don't have the exact prompt I want to use, so we're gonna refine the prompt on the fly. So our draft is super simple. We just tell Gemini what we need. We want to review this idea by critical publisher's eye. We want to evaluate each idea and give us a verdict. Is it red, yellow, or green light? And then we ask Gemini, write me a prompt for this task. Don't execute this prompt, otherwise it will just go straight to the result. And make this prompt context independent. This addition, we don't necessarily need it, can be applied to any game or any feedback, but it's just better to keep prompts at this stage a little bit more generic to get better results. At least that's what I found using AI daily at my job. So let's ask it. And here is the prompt that we have. Okay, act as a senior game acquisitions editor, blah blah blah. It goes into marketability, it goes to technical feasibility, to player experience, innovation versus risk. All great. It goes into verdicts. All great. And okay, let's copy it. and here we just replace the prompt. We press edit prompt. We replace our draft with our final prompt. It says, I will provide you with a list of game concepts. I would say above you see a list of game concepts, and let's update our prompt. Shouldn't take long. Okay, it went through each of our prompts, and for the first idea it gives us green light. Belle Époque in Paris, I like it. As an artist, I like it. Second idea, yellow light. For the sake of this exercise, we can skip anything that is not green light. Next idea, red light. Too experimental for a major publisher. Brilliant indie art game, but not a commercial FPS blockbuster. Okay, we skip it. Next idea is green light. Let's remind us what it is. Okay, it's living plants that learned how to mimic objects or houses or something like that. And cool. And the last idea is yellow light, so we're gonna skip it. Now we need to decide which idea we go for. So I will be the judge. Sorry, I love Belle Époque, I love Paris, so let's go with this one. So what we're gonna do for the ideas that we picked, we will try to generate some game mechanics in this setting and see if it works well as a game, not just as a visual concept. So here is the draft prompt. Again, I developed it a little bit earlier, but there's nothing specific here. It's just basic stuff. I want to develop one of these game ideas further using MDA framework, mechanics, dynamic, aesthetics. So it will, Gemini will go through this idea and will try to come up with game mechanics for our world and see if it works with the rest of the games, with its aesthetic, if it's how it works in dynamic, and so on. So let's ask Gemini to create a final prompt for us from this draft. Should be fast. Okay, here is our final prompt. You are lead game designer specializing in MDA. Awesome. Task: please expand this game concept into detailed design breakdown using following 3 pillars. Awesome, exactly what we need. Now let's copy it. Let's copy all of it. And let's replace our initial prompt. I think because we had a table at the end, our paragraphs kind of broken, but let's find where it asks for the idea. Okay, data game concept, insert concept summary here, specific feedback to address. We don't have it. Let's just delete all the input part. And in the beginning, let's write, I like the first idea. Let's develop it. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, it came up with quite a few things. But let's go to vertical slice. I specifically asked it to create some kind of vertical slice, so we don't go into each mechanic one by one, but I can look into it from a distance. Okay, the hook emerging from metro station into silt covered street. Nice. Then we cross in a plaza to reach abandoned pharmacy. Static wall hits us. Okay. And entering the pharmacy, which is a dead zone with wood floors. Okay, I can see the table for some reason, but let me expand the screen and see. Okay. So mechanic, visual aesthetics, seeing Eiffel Tower, amazing. Ground and management, careful passing, managing the chain lengths to avoid debris. Okay, it clearly created some kind of game mechanics. Let's look at these game mechanics with eye of a player. So here is the draft prompt. Super simple again. I want to review these ideas with an eye of a critical player, list the issues and suggest some major fixes that we can implement to make this game better. Let's refine the prompt. Okay, role, you are a seasoned hardcore gamer and professional game critic. Nice. Task critically evaluate the provided game concept or research. Your goal is to identify why player might stop player after 2 hours. Exactly what we need. So let's just copy. Okay. And let's edit our draft prompt with the final prompt. Okay, let's just update it. And usually this part gives the most insightful information. Usually there's a lot to look into. Let's go to the end. If you keep it as low punitive simulator, it's a red light for anyone but the most hardcore masochist. If you implement these fixes, you have green light, action survival hit that feels like Bioshock meets Subnautica on high voltage line. So let's see what are the issues. You mentioned physics simulated ground and chain. That's developer dream and player's nightmare. In FPS, nothing kills the flow faster than 19th century geometry. If the chain gets caught on a park bench, or stray brick or a door frame while you're trying to guide an enemy, it's not immersion, it's a mechanical failure. Okay, walking tags. Movement is a curve. By making movement the direct cause of death, you're effectively taxed players for playing. Absolutely agree. Okay, we see that there's quite a lot of interesting critique, and now we not just applying this critique straight away, but we are kind of looking into this critique and decide if it's something we want to improve or if it's just taste preference. So what we're gonna do, we want to look into each piece of the feedback above and consider what should be changed in the game concept and what should be skipped. And at the end we have a summary table that we can read and see right now in real time. So let's refine this prompt. Okay, here is the prompt. You are lead game designer and product owner. You specify in balancing visionary creative direction with player accessibility and retention, exactly what we need. Objective, conduct a systematic audit of the feedback against the concept. Your goal is to determine which feedback points the essential pivots to save the game from being tedious and which are vision critical elements that should be kept but perhaps refined. Awesome. I wouldn't phrase it any better. Okay, let's delete the beginning. Let's delete the input data. Okay, and let's update our prompt to get our results. Okay, here is our result. Feedback point, physics chain snags, vision alignment low, critical risk, development cost high, walking tax. Basically it went over each piece of the feedback and it decided where we should pivot and what we should skip. And yeah, you see it decides to modify this feedback. This feedback is import. Basically it's doing something with it. We're not gonna go too deep into it because of time. I was told to keep it short. And now when we have all the feedback addressed, let's draft our pitch. Okay, the prompting is super simple. I want to create pitch for this game. It should sell the game even to the most skeptical publisher. And then we ask Gemini to write a prompt. So it should come up with much better prompt. You are a world-class game industry consultant and pitch strategist. Your goal, draft a high-impact professional game pitch for a major publishing house. Works for me. Okay, let's edit our prompt. Let's update. Okay, you see it even took it officially. To whom, subject, status. Awesome. In a world where every step generates a lethal charge, you must harvest the lightning of the earth to reignite the city of lights or be consumed by the spark. Okay. then it tells about the market vacuum, then it tells the hook. Okay, the core hook is dielectric dance through the use of physics responsive smart tether. The player is literally plugged into the environment. Awesome. Return of investment. Yeah, you see it's kinda alright, not a bad pitch. And yeah, here we go to one of the most interesting parts of this presentation. We're gonna create a key art for our image, for our concept. So we're gonna use the same strategy. I have some kind of a draft. I put a little bit more effort into this draft just to be sure that during the live demonstration everything works well and I don't have to reiterate on the prompt many times. So here is what I ask Gemini. Write me a prompt for this task, don't execute the prompt. Basically the same instruction that we had before. And here is what I want to see as an outcome of this refined prompt. It should generate a text description of key art, so we are not jumping straight into creating an image, because if we create an image, it's like our pitch doesn't have enough information about the visuals. So, and Gemini works on the context, so we need to add a little bit more context into this chat, so Gemini has something to work with. So what kind of context do we want? We want a description of the key image, what we see there. We tell the Gemini or Nana Banana, which is part of it, that image should look like a vivid cinematic poster. Every part of it should sell the game. We should see what kind of mood, what kind of lighting, what kind of colors should be on this picture. We describe the environment, everything that is around us, like background and stuff, buildings. We list the characters. For the characters and main objects that we're gonna see in this image, we'll go a little bit deeper in the moment. It is also very important because we need to provide even more context for key objects that we're gonna have in the image. Describe composition, foreground, midground, background, describe where we're gonna place these characters and objects. And one important part, we want to see dynamic, we want to see some kind of action, because action usually looks great in this key arts. So let's submit and let's check what it comes up with. Okay, role, you are a senior concept artist and marketing art director. Awesome. Objective based on the game concept and the design pivots. Okay, we're gonna just say above game pitch instead of these two. Generate a detailed text description for a vivid cinematic poster. This description will be used by an illustration team to create the game's primary marketing image. Awesome, works. So our illustration team gonna be called Nana Banana. So it's super simple. Now we copy. Okay, we copy the prompt. We will need to clean it up a little bit. Okay, I remember in the beginning, based on the game pitch above, generate detailed text description for a vivid cinematic poster, and I think somewhere else, input data. We don't need it, we have it in the chat. Okay, let's fire it. Shouldn't take long. Okay. A conductor mid-leap in high-speed static overclock, trailing a glowing smart tether like a comet tail across a shimmering sea of crystalline silt, while the Eiffel Tower channels a massive blue-white bolt in the background. Sounds like something. So what we're gonna do now, we're not gonna go straight into generating the images. We're gonna go through the list of the characters and list. Actually, where is the list of characters? Environment. Okay, we have the hero, we have the Faraday rig, we have smart tether. Okay, it's all good. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a prompt for image generation for each of the elements. Why we're doing it? Just to provide a little bit more context for Nano Banana to generate the image later. If we provide a detailed explanation of how the characters look like, how the background look like, how the, what do we have, Faraday rig, smart tether, basically everything which is essential for selling our game should have detailed description, then it's much easier for Nano Banana to generate the image. So let's start with the hero. So we replace the element name with this, and then we ask create prompt for generating image of an isolated element on a neutral background. It is very important that we can ask it to describe the element, in this case the hero, without any background details, without any compositional details, just the hero itself, like how it looks like, so it doesn't mess up with the rest of the prompt. We ask it to not generate an image yet, because if we send it like this, there is a risk that Gemini will start generating images instead of providing us prompt. And yeah, make sure this prompt is self-sufficient and doesn't rely on context of this chat. If we don't add this thing, it will skip all the details that it already had in the context of the chat, and will just add some kind of things that it thinks important addition to already existing context. But we want every piece of context that is related to the hero in one message. Okay, let's go, and let's copy this prompt, paste it once again, and find our next element, the Faraday rig. Okay. Full body cinematic shot of character. Awesome. And then it described the pose, and okay, something else. Probably I didn't pay enough attention to understand what it is. But yeah, let's generate the prompt for our next piece, which is Faraday rig. And I think we had something else. The smart tether. Okay, and let's do the same for the smart tether. And as far as I can see, These are the three main elements. The only thing that's left is our background. Remember I told that there will be Eiffel Tower as the background, so we need a little bit more details on what it's gonna look like. So I have a prompt, let's paste it. The prompt is super simple, basically the same. Create prompt for generating an image for the background. Don't generate the image yet, make sure prompt is self-sufficient. The same, but instead of an object we generate description of a background. Okay, should be fast. Panoramic cinematic landscape of grand post-apocalyptic Paris. Okay, apparently it created options, but okay, usually it doesn't give me options, usually it just give me one variant, but let's see how it works with these options. And yeah, now I think we have enough context. We have background, we have three main objects, and earlier on we had the description of the composition and colors and lighting and so on. So we can create our image. The prompt is, so we need to turn on create image, paste the prompt. Super simple, super basic, but let's look into it. Create the key art image using the descriptions above. So everything that we had above in the chat, it should look into it. No text, because Gemini likes to add text into key art. We don't want it. 16:9, classic ratio. We want realistic textures and details. We want it to look like cinematic movie poster. We want dynamic action, and we want to have some particles. Okay, let's go and let's see what we get. Let's hope it works. It usually works, but sometimes you get unexpected results. Yeah, as you can see, like to be the effective user of the Gemini, you don't have to be like super advanced. You don't have to have like a big collection of prompts or anything. You can kind of work in the loops. You create a draft prompt, you ask Gemini to refine this prompt. Usually when I'm not on the recording, or usually I go through the result of the refined prompt and see if it works for me or not. If I'm skeptical about something. The same goes to the beginning of the workshop when we had to decide which concept to choose. We asked Gemini to do it for us, but usually I also double check myself because AIs are not all the time super effective in making decisions. But in this case, like I like Paris, I like the setting, so why not? Let's see what we get. Okay, we get the, how to move it. Okay, we get the character, we have the ground, we have Eiffel Tower. Is it the most exciting concept? Probably not, but it's something that we created in just like minutes. It's not even hours. But let's try to redo it with Pro just in case and see if it works better. This Gemini defaults to Nano Banana 2, which is a great picture generator, but Nano Banana Pro is a little bit better. So let's see if it's more exciting. Okay. Looks like it's broken. Let's try again. Lately when I press generate with Pro, there is a mistake happening. I don't know, maybe something on Google side, but let's wait and see how it goes. Okay, we got the result. Yeah, I think it looks much better. Okay, looks like a character has some kind of wire and we are grounding ourselves to the electricity. Okay. Again, to evaluate this picture, I probably need to go through the pitch to understand what happened there, but I think you got the idea. I think you know how to work in Gemini and how to generate your ideas fast. Just again, look into it if you're doing it not for speed, like in our case. Look into the results you get, pay attention to the details, and yeah, make decisions on your own. Don't trust AI to make any decisions for you. And yeah, thank you for your time, and I wish you a great day. Bye bye.